Obviously, you're strongly associated with libertarian socialism, with anarcho-syndicalism. But one thing that I find interesting is that you call yourself one of the few conservatives in the United States because, as you say, you actually believe in traditional values. Now, and I'm just doing this for the sake of clarity. When you say conservative, what do you mean by this?
Well, the term conservative now doesn't mean anything like what it
I realize it's been used in many different ways.
It
almost
reactionary status. So take, say, Reagan, who's supposed to be the ideal of the conservatives. He believed in a very powerful state which intervened massively in the economy. He was by far the most protectionist American president in post-war history. He believed in violence and repression. That's called conservative. Any genuine conservative would turn over in his grave at that. The term conservative used to mean something like classical liberal. A person who believed in classical liberal values of the Enlightenment, the values of Adam Smith, David Hume, and others. And I think there's a lot, I don't agree with him on everything, but I think there's a lot of value in those views, in the Enlightenment conceptions.
So there's no...
And in fact, I think in many ways, a lot of the anarchist movement, including the anarcho-syndicalist wing of it, grew out of these classical liberal ideals. That's not my original view, incidentally. One of the leading anarcho-syndicalist thinkers, Rudolf Rocker, pointed out, I think with some plausibility, that as he put it, classical liberalism was destroyed when it was kind of dashed against the rocks of capitalism, which undermined it. And anarchism is a natural outcome of that, which tries to capture the fundamental ideals and realize them in a modern society. It's complex, but I think there's something to that. It's kind of interesting. If you go back a century, when the courts were beginning to provide extraordinary rights to corporations, like the right of personhood, which is a big issue now. It's in the courts about a century ago. It was condemned by conservatives and supported by progressives. It was condemned by conservatives because they regarded it as an attack on the fundamental principles of classical liberalism and the Enlightenment, namely that rights inhere in human beings, not organic entities created by state power. The progressives, incidentally, supported it.
They supported...
the personal rights of corporation. They supported granting corporations more rights. Overwhelmingly, this is not drawing the lines too starkly, but substantially.
Okay, so when you're using the term conservative, you're talking about an older kind of conservative.
What the word traditionally meant. I'm not talking about Gingrich, I'm not talking about Reagan, I'm not talking about Fox News. These are not conservatives in any traditional sense. They're radical statists.